Welcome to Facebook. Welcome. Please, can you start sharing the video? Share the video, please. Or while we live at in Clubhouse with the former mayor. So start sharing the video. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tony, for the music. Welcome to the show, everyone. We will just start. Honorable is gone. Is he in the audience, Tony? Not seeing him. Tony? Tony, can you hear me, Ben?
Yeah, solid. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, can you ping back Honorable Tony? Because I'm not seeing him in the audience.
Sorry, can you drop?
Yeah, ping him drop. Play on the music. If you have the music, Ben Madi.
And when we music play, let it play a project. Can we music play?
Nothing I can buy like you. By you, I can't fall the country more. I don't move to my I can't fall the country because it's a lady. Don't you feel my turn? Nothing to what I can do. Freedom, my turn. Nothing to what I can do. Yeah, what I'm going to be. And so what I'm going to be. What I'm going to be. I'm going to Andi kotan mebo, nanti korajin mebo. Ayro kijin mai jepkachen, bai jepkachen, ato kagat malwe. Ide parpat, na cholvin ide parpat.
Oh, thank you, by Tony. Welcome back, by Honorable Gabriel Madud. We are really happy to have you here. To the audience, hang on. Yeah, to the audience, we really appreciate you for coming. We will start officially. And before we start, I would like all my moderators to introduce themselves. Starting with me, for those who may not know me, my name is Choljit. I'm going to be the main moderator for this show. I'll give the mic back to Madid, and then to Steve, and then to the other audience, as well as the other moderators to introduce themselves. So Madid.
Yeah, thank you, Bencholit. Okay, for those of you, my name is Medit Majak, and I will be hosting live this event on Facebook, YouTube, Live, and Langston Media.
Thank you, Ben Madid. Please.
Please, I still don't know probably Palang Kader, so I'm sure that is actually on the phone. So it's okay. Let's go with the three.
Okay, it's ready.
Anh ấy cho nhìn đấy. Nhìn trên mail. Thank you.
Yeah, Eva.
Hello everyone, I go with the name Eva, but I actually have that on my phone. Thank you to have you in our body.
Yeah, by Tony.
Welcome by Gabriel Murudayo, born in Mariana, please.
Yeah, thank you, my moderators. I'm so happy to have everyone here, and I would like to begin with a song. There was a song that was played, actually talking about Gurial. For those who may not know history, Gurial is a home to people like Abur Matwangit, and the song was actually talking about the Yemen Gurial, so that place has actually yielded some good leaders. Abur Matwang is from them. He's actually what makes us proud for Sudan. And together with us is Honorable Gabriel Madud, who is also from Gorial. He's part of the people that come from that area. And Gorial has never actually let them down. And the song was actually addressing Gorial as people will not actually let people down. But to us, the song is actually for all of us. So we don't actually yield people to come quickly. So for us to continue now with the show, I would just like to welcome Madid to come and read out the biography of our Honorable Gabriel Madud, and then we can yield the floor back to him. Before Madid came, what I want to say is we are here to listen to our Honorable Gabriel Madud, because he was actually one of the town mayor in Kwajok. And we do know that he's one of the people who is aware of how the town council can actually deal with the land and whether there could actually be a land grabbing when the town are actually in charge of the mayor or of the town of the city. So that is why we are here. We'll go and have time to listen, and we'll see and as well as what are the conditions of the town mayor or the town council that can actually manage the town with land grabbing or without land grabbing. So by Madid, you can actually read out the bio for Honorable Gabriel Matuot, and then we can give the floor to him to address us. I yield the mic back to you, by Madid.
Thank you, Ben Choldit. Short biography for Honorable Gabriel Matuot. Ayomdit is come from the Gornyang West County, White Source Payam, Warrap State, Republic of South Sudan. Currently, he is the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Petrol University Company, limited based in Eastern Palladium Building, Airport Road, Juba, South Sudan. He been a CEO and MD of Petroleum University Company for the last 4 years. And he is also a former mayor of Kwanjuk Town, Warrap State, for the 9 months. His background of school, he holds a diploma of information technology from the Evenpress College, London, Canada, and he also attended a high school in Winston's Mantropi, Canada. Also, he have agriculture state as well. He also attend a secondary school and private school in Khartoum, Sudan. His goal are strong relationship with the stakeholder. He is also a talented and motive. He like with people. He contribute, adapted leadership, learning at the core of everything. Clear value, living in organization, collective, trusted, and risk talented culture. Area of as a CEO of Petrol University Company, he have a vast experience in oil and gas gold mine. He have experience of bridge and company resident construction. He also have expensive experience in relation to the short time as a mayor of Kwanjuk Town. So his habits is he like to read, exercise, watching news, and traveling around the world. So that is short biography of Honorable, and here we have a long list to go, but that is a short for the Honorable. So I have microphone back to you.
Thank you so much, Bernadette, for the reading out of the bio. Without wasting time, I will yield the mic back to Honorable Gabriel Matuot. And to the audience, Gabriel Matuot is with us here, and he will tell us more about his experience as a town mayor, as well as also what are the roles and the relationship of the town mayor council together with the land within the town. We always hear about land grabbing in Juba, in some other areas, and there is no difference someone ruling in Kwajok as a town mayor as well as someone in Juba, and whether there could be land grabbing involved when you're actually a town mayor or not. So, Ben Gabriel Matuot, the floor is yours. You address your audience, feel free, and later on we will allow some people to come and ask some questions. where you can actually answer them in accordingly. So I yield to you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Brother Cholit and Brother Madid, and everybody who is listening across the world. I'm very glad for this opportunity. Tonight here in Juba, South Sudan, it is almost 9 o'clock or 8 something in our local time. So thank you for having me tonight, and probably morning and evening in your respective areas. So thank you for having me. My name is Gabriel Madut Ayau from Warrap State, Boreal West County. I am White South, and I'm the former mayor of Warrap State. I was appointed last year, February of last year, 2021, and I was relieved from my position in November 7, 2021. It's nearly 9 months, and currently I'm in Juba running my own affairs, as it was read out in my short bio. So, as brother just mentioned, Brother Choli, I don't know if I could go ahead and answer the questions, or you will just go question by question and then answer them, or should I just go randomly about my experience as town mayor?
Yeah, you can answer direct, then you can go randomly, talking about the experience, and also we'll just bring up some audience, come and ask some questions afterwards.
All right. Once again, thank you for the opportunity. As I mentioned that I was appointed beginning of last year, and as you all know that before after our appointment until recently or before Christmas, and some states the government, the formation of the government was just completed after the Christmas, and some before Christmas. For example, Warrap State Legislative Assembly was reconstituted before Christmas. And when we were appointed, we were running our daily program. We were not running as a full government, because you cannot run the government without legislative assembly or the parliament. So we went there, including the governor, His Excellency or Honorable NIA, Aleo. So we were doing our level best to do what we can do without the assembly. As we were doing that, we were facing some challenges. One of the challenges that we were facing as government, we didn't have a full budget, because the national legislatively was not formed, and the budget was not passed for the last. We were running the government partly, and some issues that will need to be taken to Parliament were kept pending. until now, some issues are still pending. So we didn't have a full government. And yes, there were things that we can run without the legislative assembly. For example, maintaining the security in the town, some developmental projects like opening the roads within the town, the some security issues in general that we were running without the legislative assembly, and we didn't really need to wait for legislative assembly. So on the budget-wise, we were not doing anything except that we were just running with partners like NGOs that were working in the state, or business people that were running their business in the state. So, like for example, like the construction of the road from State House to the State Secretariat. That we did it without the budget from the government, but from the partners that were willing to put their hands with the government. And when I took over in February 2021, no, a lot of things were missing in my office. So I had to start like from zero. So one of the things that I did was to create a program, we call it strategic framework for Pajok Municipal Council for the next 3 years, which is from 2021 to 2023. And that strategic plan has all the programs that we were doing, we're going to do for the next period of 3 years. And within that project, we have a policy to guide our or to govern the project programs. So, and also on top of that, we came up with something called action plans. Action plans within the Pajok town, we have 6 block councils, which under town mayor. And those 6 blocks, they have their own administrative areas. And they all report to municipality, and from municipality to the government, and from the governor office to the state legislative assembly. And also, we were about to form the something called councillors, which are working hand in hand with the mayor, but we couldn't. We made the selection or nomination, and then we were waiting for the formation of the assembly to place the councillors, and the councillors numbers are 35. Those councillors are the one empowered the mayor, and they are the one to do the most of the work in the municipality. But in the absence of those councillors, we still tried our level best to do what we can do. And as we all know, you all know, that there was big insecurity in Warrap State when we took over. So our governor's first mission was to minimize the security situation in Warrap State, so other programs can be run smooth. So he started visiting from Payam to Payam, from county to county, from Buma to Buma. So that took much of his time from February all the way to June. And then from June, in May, he came back to Juba to report all the issues, and then he was taken for treatment. So when he came back, he went back to finish with the rest of Payam, of Boreal West. And then in July to August, we were caught by a heavy rain, which is the flooding season. And it was not only in Warrap State, but all over South Sudan. So that is not boost our activities. أنا ما قدرنا نعمل أي حاجة في rainy season لا دي شهر 11 ولا شهر 12. So then the time we were about to resume our activities, I was cut short by being relieved from my position. So during my term for rainy season and after rainy season, there are some things that we accomplished, and we had some challenges, very big challenges. Those challenges يرجع للأوضاع الاقتصادية في الولاية وكمان الأوضاع السياسية في الولاية. Not only in the state, but in the whole country. And most of the things that we were focusing on was security, like I mentioned, to minimize the security within the areas of Pajok. And my areas or my jurisdiction was 7 miles around the city. In some areas or some other states, mayor jurisdiction is 15 miles around the city, but in Pajok was 7 miles. So we tried to minimize because country Qatar Zahir the country were some views, but mostly country the Kafir, the Dakil. That we tried our level best with the security organs like National Security, CID, and MI, and SSPDF within the town. Also, we tried to do some renovation on the internal roads within Pajok town. That we couldn't achieve much because, like I mentioned, we had financial difficulties. But one of the main roads that I repaired was from State House in place that Governor Dadi Aman Okuma. And that was about 6 to 7, 5 to 6 kilometers. And that we did it with partners that were working in the state. The other roads within the Pajok town that are really damaged by the rain, and see the creation of Warrap State or municipality. The internal roads never been renovated, so there are a lot of challenges driving around within the town. And also, Pajok has been surveyed since day one, well surveyed. But there are some areas, or most of the areas, roads are not open. So they have been surveyed, and they were just left like that, like they never been surveyed. So we were planning to open the roads to have access road within those surveyed areas and the road are not open. And that we were working also with the partners who were supposed to start after the raining season. And that I didn't finish with that program because I was released before we start that program. And also, one of the biggest achievements, like I said, كان في ظاهرة بتاعت كسر الدكاكين ولا السرقة في داخل السوق في كوانجو. Then when I took over, we minimized it not to zero, but almost to zero. هذا ما في كسر الدكاكين. كان في نوم بالعافية وبيحكي في أعمال طبعا وما في ظاهر بتاعت السرقة. والسرقة ده كان يعني ظاهر بطريقة we couldn't know, but it was almost, we couldn't pay attention to it. It was going to cause us a bigger problem in the state, like what was happening in Wau and almost in Juba. So, but luckily we stopped that. But kanti shari tamania shari tisa kan sar le maratani in one night kasaru about 7 shops in one night. But thankfully we apprehended those criminals. And as far as I know, that's what I did during my term, and some challenges, interference from other ministries were there, and we report all these challenges or interference within the institution to other institutions, but that was minor. Those were minor issues, but the biggest problem were that the construction of the road within the town. That's where our major plans. And when I was released, I handed all pending programs to the current mayor, and he took over from there. So that's what I can remember during my time. And if there's any other question or
your mic is low. Your mic is low, but come closer.
Sorry, I was interrupted by a phone call.
Okay, continue.
So you're getting me now?
Yeah, you are now clear.
Okay. So yeah, those were the things that I did during my term, and I was captured, but changes are normal in any institution or in any government. When you are released, you hand office to next person, and he or she will take over from there. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben, for the well-articulated talk. You have mentioned two things. We will allow some members to come and ask some questions, but you have mentioned some two things. You have talked about the development that you have done. You have also talked about you reducing the number of crime within the town. But I will ask you two questions, which is what most of South Sudanese want to know. First of all, you were town mayor in Kwajok, and there were some members of the community or settlers that were actually buying land. Were you guys selling land in a legal way or illegal way? Were there people in town that were having some land grabbing or not? That is the first question. Second question, you have to talk about development. And we all know, as you know, people are complaining that there is no development. And you have talked about you building some roads. Where did you get that budget? And how much did the national government give you as the town mayor? And is it applying to all being across South Sudan? Or was it only in Kwajok where you were funded as a town mayor to build some roads, like you mentioned, and also renovate some parts of the town? Where did you get that budget? Because we are complaining everywhere that there is no development. But you have talked about you building some roads as well as renovating some buildings. So where did you get that budget? And how much was that budget? That is the second question. First question, were you selling that land legally or illegally? Were there some individuals doing land grabbing or not? So we'll just bring up some more people to come and ask some questions. You can answer those questions if you are ready. I yield the mic back to you, Ben.
I think before you give the floor to other people for more questions, I will answer those two questions first, and then I will go from there. First,
okay, go ahead. Yes.
First, like I mentioned earlier, that Kwajok was based before Nyandeng Malik during, I believe, was a non-Quendit, Governor non-Quendit or Paul Madrid. And that's where they came up with the perimeter of Stubet mile around the Kwajok. That's the diary at the mayor. From that time until this moment where we are speaking, there's no any other survey has been done in Kwajok. And those surveyed areas, they all belong to the people of Warrap state, and some even from other states who are living in Kwajok. Some lands were distributed to the government, like open spaces were left for the government officials, and the rest of the residential areas were distributed to all the citizens of Warrap state and those states who are living within Warrap state. So before I took over, yes, I used to live in Canada, but I used to come from time to time, and I never heard of any kind of land grabbing in Kwajok or Warrap state. There's disputes among individuals, but those cases are always been taken to the court to answer. Maybe people will be Mahal Fabi, Mafia is all Pala or or Masha. It's only here but and like temporarily. And then it will build something. And that will result into some cases that they always been handled peacefully in the court. Coming back to selling the land by the government in Kwajok, either before me or during my term, there's nothing segment. Except in those areas were left for the government official, like open spaces. In every block, there's an open space, either for a school, it's left for a school, or open space left for football or whatever. Those were under responsibility of Minister of Land and Housing, together with the municipality, which is the mayor. And when we came, we got all these areas open space, like they've been given away. And when we ask somebody who is staying there, they will always say this place was sold to me by the government or by the individuals or by the community. So we try to investigate those lands or open spaces out got into the hands of individuals. So what we did is assessment how many open space in Pajok within the perimeter of 7 miles. One. Second to that, after we found how many open spaces in Pajok, we also did the assessment of how many open spaces were sold to individuals and how many open spaces left for unsold. After we found all this, we report to the governor. So these are open space in Bajok, and these were sold by the community or the government or individuals. So, and these are the numbers of open space left. So, and the action was going to be taken by the governor. And as I mentioned earlier, governor was so busy tackling the issues of insecurity, was traveling from county to county, Payam to Payam, Homa to Homa. He didn't have much time in his office. So there were a lot of complaints and Sakau, Mashakal Katir, get them now. So during my time, we never sold any single land to any organization or to any person, but we are trying to relocate or to reclaim those open space were sold to individuals. And land grabbing, like I mentioned earlier, there's no any case brought to my office that either from individual to individual or from organization to organization that this land has been grabbed or so. But those very minor issues between individuals. But those cases they always go to court and they always been handled peacefully. And second part of your question was that was about where did I get the budget to do the renovation of the highway leading from my state house to state secretariat. Like I said earlier, we have issue of budget never been passed from the central government for the last 2 years. So what I was doing, sorry, some people are trying to call me, so that's why my voice is being interrupted. So I was doing that with private companies who were willing to put their hands together with the government. So there's one company who did that 5 to 6 miles from the state house to state secretariat. We didn't pay anything for that, but it's the relationship we created with partners. And not only that, there are other companies or NGOs who are going to help us with the main road, which we call it Shararbain, the way from the north side of the town, the south side of the town. They were going to do that, and there's another road from the north side of the town leading to the airport of Pajok. They were going to do that. ده كله ده علاقات اللي خلقناها مع الشركات الشغالين في الولاية ومنظمات الشغالين في الولاية. We have benefits and so many things that we can claim from those NGOs that are working in every state But if you don't know your rights, or if you don't know how to claim your rights, they will never come forward and just give it to you just like that. Unless if you know what you have and how to claim it from that organization or from that NGO. So, like they can, some organizations they can offer fuel for renovation. Some other organizations they can offer machines, and then you as a government you can come with your part, like manpower and whatever is you will provide. So that's how I did the road leading from State House to State Secretariat. And there were a lot of other things we were going to do without budget from the central government or from state government. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben, for the answer. We have 3 speakers that are here up on the podium, and there will be a lot of discussion. So please follow up the line. I'll yield the mic back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ben Georgette, and I thank you, former Mayor Madut, for a very well detailed introduction and also explaining your role. I have a question, but I'll ask it after the 3 people have asked. And also, just for housekeeping, once you're done asking a question, we're going to drop you to the audience. And once the 3 are done, we bring 3 more up. So I think the first person I saw was James, if I'm not wrong, and then Mama Bear, and then Onyaria. So James, sorry, I was outside. So James, please go ahead, and we'll give you 5 minutes.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Can you give it to someone else, and I'll come back with?
All right, thank you. Mama Bear, go ahead and please introduce your name so that Mr. Former Mayor will know your name. Go ahead, Mama Bear.
Okay, thank you. Is this forum being conducted in English, or should we speak other language?
I think if we keep it English, Arabic, just so that because there's so many people here, but whatever language you feel comfortable with is okay.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I greet to all the members on the forum. This is our Langau, known as Mama Bear. And I again welcome you, the former Warrap, the state town mayor. I appreciate you coming and give us some insight into issues of the land, in Warrap. So I'm going to ask you questions, and knowing that you are no longer in the position, but you will answer them based on what do you know when you were the mayor of the town. So my first question is, what do you know about Warrap and Abia border after the independence of South Sudan in 2011? Because Abia was left out as a contested area, and that's why it was given a protocol.
Mama Bear, sorry,
yes.
I'm going to interrupt you. That is a political question, and it's not related to this position. So we'll skip that question, please, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, correct, Mama Bear. Also,
Actually, let me answer her this way.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not going to answer that question, but not because it's too political, but it wasn't. That's not within my jurisdiction. That is within the jurisdiction of Commissioner of Boreal West, which is start from Paisas all the way to the border of BA and Warrap, which is BA and Twitch. So if the commissioner was here, would have answered that question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Understandable. The next question, it will be up to you or to the forum or moderators, to pass it or not. But I would like to know who collects, the taxes, in southern areas of Kiev. Because I'm asking this question because I'm from Twitch Mayadis, and Twitch is part of Warrap. And the current issue, actually, it has impacted, where I come from, and that's why I'm asking this question, because it has taken lives, and land grabbing is an issue in any country or any society. And when laws are not in place, to eradicate or to take care of issues like that, things happen like what happened in my area. So I want to ask the former mayor, when you were in because our taxes goes all the way to Kwajuk as our capital state. So who collect taxes on those areas? I wanted to know, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful question. The issue of tax is again, somebody else is trying to call me. So the issue of tax in all South Sudan, it goes like I mentioned, my jurisdiction area is only around Payok. Anything outside of that 7 mile is fall under commissioners of that area. For example, Boreal West. So collecting taxes within my area, we have 2 administrative within the Kwajok town. First is the mayor, who is responsible for the town, which is 7 mile. And we have revenue authority. Revenue authority, it goes all the way, all across Warrap state. So within my area, any tax that I collect within my area, I go with 60%, and the revenue authority go with 40%. Anything that being collected outside my area is still go to revenue authority and the commissioner. So in your area, for example, you just mentioned, commissioner is responsible for taxes in Payams and Boomers and all those areas. And we have form called Form 15. Anything we put in Form 15, whether it's 100 pounds, 200 pounds, or 1,000 pounds, or whatever, revenue authority will take 40%, and commissioner will take 60%. So the commissioner is responsible for all the, including the municipality and those counties, 6 counties of Warrap state, 3 counties in Toin, and 4 counties in 3 counties in Boreal and Twitch. So I don't go beyond my 7 miles. So the issue of collecting taxes is always under revenue authority. So what they do, or what we do with the taxes after we collect them, is just up to governor of state. So we collect them and we report all the collected taxes to Minister of Finance, and then they will be used from there for any other services within the state. Some things, some items that the revenue authority collect from the state, they come direct to National Revenue Authority. So I hope I answered your question. I was not responsible for Twitch counties or any Payam within Twitch or anything within the border. I was responsible only within Kwajok town, which is a mile around the city.
Thank you very much, Lay.
If anything I left, I didn't answer it correctly or need clarification, you still can go ahead and I can still try to make some clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mama Bear, for asking your question and for also just setting a good based on how people are going to ask questions. You really stick to our time and you ask your questions without adding too much detail. So thank you, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for answering our question. We're going to move you to the audience, Mama Bear. Thank you. And the next person is going to be James to ask his 2 questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peace and Joldy, Malindi, Tony, and everyone here. I would like to say thank you for being here. For Mayor, I want to say thank you for making yourself available to us to ask you questions, because we are part of the the area that you are responsible for. And yeah, we are out here, our eyes there on our cities. I think I have only one question. I just want to know, because you mentioned earlier, you run the city barely with nothing coming from central government and no budget whatsoever. And we know we have oil running, we have resources, minerals going, taxes, general, and then there should be budget every year, something to reach towns and to build roads and stuff like that. What was the explanation for the government, for the central government, to have budget for the cities like yours? Thank you.
The explanation, thank you for your question. The explanation is very clear and simple. كان ما في برلمان القومي اللي هو اللي بيقيس البجت كل سنة. برلمان كان ما في for the last 2 years I think. And برلمان القومي عملوه maybe toward the end of last year. That's when the parliament was reconstituted, and now they are working to pass the budget. And when they pass the budget, that's when every state and all administrative areas will receive their yearly budget. So I think that's answer your question. So because we didn't have the parliament for the last almost for the last 2 years, and was because of the agreement, peace agreement, that some chapters and some protocols are even up to now, they still we still didn't pass them, and but they are working on it. And thankfully, all the parliaments, whether in central government or in state, they are all been formed and they are working to reshape our economy, or especially the issue of budget. Thank you.
Follow up? Can I do the follow up, please, Mr. P? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can follow up for 2 minutes.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. I understand that yes, you say there was no legislative assembly and stuff like that to actually pass the budget, but that means the money is accumulated because every year we produce oil. The government is working. We are doing the stuff. Does that mean the money is sitting there to be passed, or the money is spent in some other area as a part of the explanation? Thank you.
Thank you, James. I'm going to review and he can go ahead and answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, I will not go into much detail of how the collected revenues that were being collected before the formation of the parliament were spent, but there's always services, and even during the absence of parliament, the things that were were running, and I believe government was using those collected revenues or taxes to run the affairs of the country, whether at the national level or at the state level. But how they were spending that, I will not go into detail of that. Not because I am hiding anything, but that's not my specialty area.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for answering that. Monyariao, you're going to be the next person asking a question or making comments. Go ahead, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, please, Judith and Madit, Tony, Abba, or Eva. When Madit in Jalor, I welcome you. Thank you for coming to Clubhouse. As you know, I think when Ariel is my phone web, as a friend, I'm so happy to see you today. That you join us again. It's been a long time. So let me greet you as a friend. I'll greet you and greet you as a friend.
Are you the one?
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. This is a book from us. We always come and we'll start like this. You are a mayor, a city mayor, and a city mayor is a public service. It's a public service where you serve the public. So you are not actually subject to the hierarchy of ministry. So those questions that have been followed up the question and the question that you will ask are for local government. So I'm not going to ask that because you are a public service. So I'm going to ask you within your job role as a public service. So my first question is this. As we know in the city, there are a lot of things going on. For example, the law enforcement within the city is my job as a mayor. The collecting the tax or how you generate income in order for you to carry the work is your responsibility. So my question is this, the first question, how you generate the income within the city of Warrap or Kwajok? That is my first question. How do you come up? What strategy did you use? And when you use it, how much do you generate within the city? Because we want to learn from it. Because I myself don't know how South Sudan mayor or the city mayors do their job. So this is what I want to learn from you. How do you generate income within your city? That's first question. Second question. Are you responsible within law enforcement within the city, or is it independent from you? And if that is the case, how do you understand? Can you explain to us how it works within the city? For example, there are crimes happening within the city. I believe you are the one that is responsible for it. I don't know if that what is happening in South Sudan. I don't know. So I will want you to take us there and tell us how do you keep city safe. If I'm the person coming to invest within Warrap city, what can you assure us when you are a governor? Do you assure people how do you protect the business? So this is my question, and thank you. So these are the things that I'm asking you because I believe these are within your job role. You were a city map. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brother Moton, for your wonderful questions. First question is about how do I generate income within the town. How do we generate the income? Is very simple. Our role in the municipality is to encourage the business people, whether at the small scale or at the large scale. We are always encouraging the business of the traders to invest in any city so that we can have income. And our first priority in municipality is to protect the lives and the properties of the citizens, whether traders or just normal citizens. Comes to traders or business people within the town, we have the issue of security, to maximize the security within the town. So traders and business people or citizens can live freely day and night. And when they live freely, they will run their businesses. And when they run their businesses, that's where we get our income. And also increasing taxes on the business people is that it's killing the spirit of the business people. So we're trying to balance the taxes on the business people. But we have a biggest problem with our people, especially as Genovese. Foreigners like Darfurian and Ethiopian and those who are running the businesses, okay, they pay their taxes, but Tino or Genovese, while I'm wishing that they pay it, we could keep our paying taxes, and at the same time, we need the services and we need the protection. So, and that doesn't work. So, when I was the mayor, I tried to encourage all the local businesses, especially the restaurants and tea places and so on and so forth. We have those who collect taxes on daily basis, who go out and come back at the evening house with the Form 15. We call them rate collectors. So sometimes the tea makers can go from morning to evening, and maybe she or he will get, and I'm saying he because there are some men who are making teas, especially in Kwajok. So from morning to evening, sometimes they will earn like 3,000 or 4,000, and that we understand the situation and we can give them time. Like today is a bad day and tomorrow is a good day. As long as they are cooperating with the city council, they know they want to pay, and when they don't have, they don't have. So we are encouraging every business person to keep up with their business and to balance the taxes on all the traders. And second, your second question is about cooperating with the security or the security organs in the town. I mentioned earlier that we have national security and we have police, and within the police we have CID, which is mobile, and we have CI, which is counterintelligence, and we have army within the town, and they are all cooperating with the municipality day and night. We came up with the program called City Watch, which is the do patrol at night and being formed from all units and army, police, and CID and national security. And they all do the patrol at night, and that's under municipality. So, and we are cooperating very well, and we minimize the crimes within the city. With that, I think I answer your question. If not, then you will remind me of what I forgot or what I didn't answer in part of your question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will pass the mic to Tony because I'm driving. Tony, could you go ahead and just run this for a few minutes?
Can I just say something, please?
Go ahead, Eva.
Okay. I keep getting messages at the back channel. Some people cannot access the room. So please, if anyone there blocks someone, can you just unblock them for now? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. Yeah, this blocking, we've told always unblock people so it makes it easier to run the room and so that everybody can come and listen and learn too. So please, if you're in here, unblock anybody else that you have blocked. Tony, please go ahead and run the question.
Okay, I'm also driving too, so
Thank
you anyway. Thank you.
Then,
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just arriving at home. So
No, Eva can do it.
We'll just go around and pass it to Brother Paul. Question.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, moderator and others, actually audience who actually been on the top to get a chance. Maybe they might get it later on. And again, to the former mayor in Koyok City, just very simple. My question goes to the former mayor, Honorable Murdayong. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm a citizen of Warrap. Again, I am living in Koyok, where my suburb, I would say Koyongit, we will call it Koyongit next to, or sometimes you call it Panabun. This is our area where I belong to. Like Maton actually mentioned a few things that we should not be have the question related to the local government. But as we know, the local government always works with the town mayor that can actually work together in correlation for the development. Local roads within the town or city or the park, as well as other, playing ground. So I'm asking you, Brother Merit, since we actually lobby for the becoming a mayor, what plan have you had before you got to the position? Because I've known it a lot of mayors have been in Kwajok, and then the guy who started that mayor position was Jaga Jak when I was in Sudan 2017 during Nyandeng Malek. He got appointed. That was the first mayor in Kwajok. So when he actually started he's got a fresh ideas as the guy from US. He made a good program. Every Tuesday, he actually established the clinic city. He himself actually joined the citizens of Kwajok. Always got on the road to cleaning. He got on the road cleaning up. But since you went to that one, what actually you put on the plan, and what was your plan actually that has been left behind, hasn't been finished? What have you done? Yes, Marudayong, because I know that a lot of people have been complaining about the dual, because it was too, when the raining coming, and then everything on the Sugar Sword, like Sugar Bright, all the water goes in, and then it can, a lot of people been complaining that this water will be contaminated, a lot of, So what have you done actually? And that was, so many may have been talking to actually to barricade that area, not to be used for other things. So what was your plan, to be honest? before you got to that? Because I
Okay,
haven't seen
thank you.
any change that have been done. Because I went 2019, then I came back, but I still follow what is going on in Kwajok.
Okay, thank you, Brother Cole, for your question. First, so start with your question. You're saying what's your strategy or what's your plans since you got appointed or when you are lobbying for the position? Yes, when I came to the office, I didn't find any proposal or what you call programs from the former mayor. Not probably not because there were no programs, but I didn't find any files. So I start from zero with the program called the Strategic Policy Framework for Kwajok Municipal Council for the 3 years from 2021 to 2023. And I mentioned that earlier. Within that strategic policy framework, we have strategic objectives. Strategic objectives. It has some programs. Number one, I just talked about it. Was asked by the former Brother Nathan. Strategic objectives is ensure good security within the town. Number two, promotion of good health and environmental hygiene in the city. We have I have two duties, one for administration and finance, and the other one for hygiene and sanitation. So the duty for hygiene and sanitation, which is responsible for the cleaning of the town. And when I say is responsible for that, not that I'm not part of it, or Governor Elena Yang was not part of it. We are all part of it, but the work has been divided. So we have within the municipality, we have cleaning day, general cleaning, which is Tuesday, just within the market, and Friday is all across the town. But most of the time, we focus on the main road and the market. And where do we get the budget for that? It just we generate within the traders for the cleaning and keeping the town clean. We have tried our level best. Not that we were keeping the town 100% clean, but we tried our level best. And with that, we had very tough challenges. We didn't have the vehicle like the Arabia Al Wasaka, Wasaka from point A to point B. We don't have workers, and we didn't have a budget to pay them. So that's number two, promotion of hygiene, good health and environmental hygiene. That's number two for my program. Number three is the establishment of employment agency and employment exchange center. And number four, it's about the corporate financial management and establishment of transparent tax collection. And it goes on and on and on and on, and till we reach to fencing the previous areas of Maram collecting along Pajok Road. The Ayat company, which was the main contractor, was doing the roads within South Sudan, and particularly in Pajok. Ayat left big damage in the city, especially in the areas of Bangui and Mibior, where they were digging Maram,
it left like a peacock, and some become like a stream. Rainy season, and it kills a lot of animals, and even a lot of people died in those areas. So we had a program to fence that area, and it was not easy. Our budget were running up and down, and we made a good, we got a good promise from NGOs that were in the town to fence those areas, including Dweldy, as we just mentioned. Dweldy, it has a long history, and we couldn't do anything about it because it belongs to a certain community, and our role was to protect that area from harming people. And what I mean protect is just to do a fence around that Dweldy, and there's two Dweldy, Dweldy and Dweldy, and we are planning to do a fence around both of them. Unfortunately, I was relieved before we did anything, before we secured the fund from those NGOs. That was one of our programs, and also repair the boreholes and digging the protection local wells in Pajuk Municipal Council Administrative Block Councils. So, and also construction of public toilets. Pajuk Town, on each block, we have 6 blocks within the town. So we're planning to dig toilets, and especially within the market. So, and also repairing roads within the Pajuk, and opening the the road within the surveyed areas. So we're planning to open the roads within the surveyed areas, and roads were not open. Like for example, in California area, it was surveyed, but roads are not open. If there's any emergency at night or whatever, police car cannot access that area, or ambulance cannot go to that area. So we're planning to open the road, and in Angul and Majangamal and so forth. So those are my plans, and also establish the government, establish of other government institutions. So I hope I answer your question. What's my plan, or what's my program during my campaign and when I got the office. So that's were my plans, and not only that, those just a few examples I mentioned, but the program of 3 years was too big to read it out for now. Thank you.
Yeah, we thank you, Mr. Mayor, for answering of course question. The next person will be Mr. Antoinette.
Sorry, Akol wants to follow up. Sorry.
He wants to follow up.
Wants to follow up with the question.
Okay, he wants us to follow up.
Yeah, let me just see. Follow up.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, in the meantime.
Is it me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you, moderators, and thank you, Chelsea, for facilitating this. And thank you, former mayor of Pajuk, for coming here to brief us on, development that you made so far in the city. I know that, being a mayor, you're responsible for a lot of things in the city, not only roads. You concentrated mostly on roads. Thanks to Akol here, because he's a local person, being a local, you know what is going on. He managed to take you to the environmental part of development needs in the city. My question, because I'm concerned about welfare, the children welfare, the schools, if you can talk about it, and also the hospitals, what kind of hospitals you got, and how did you promote you see the health care part of your city. Question number two, I think I've been disarmed already because most of people talk about the tax. I've seen that you spoke mostly about the tax that generated by traders, businesses. Do you have any tax system that also tax people who have got salaries, people like ministers, I think they have got more salaries than ordinary person, and people like members of parliament because they have to pay tax towards their income. If that is there, where do they go? Number three is, your experience in Pajok area. Did you manage to share the same experience with your local, the other neighboring local authorities? Thanks.
Thank you for your great questions. Being a mayor and responsible for town, yes, the town is under my responsibility, but everything within the town is not under mayor responsibility. For example, when I talk about hygiene and sanitation, yes, we do it, but with collaboration with the Minister of Health. And when we talk about surveying the area, yes, the town is under my responsibility, but surveying, we do it with the Minister of Road and Bridges and Minister of Land and Housing. And when we talk about collecting taxes, it's the Minister of Finance and Revenue Authority. And also there's public service, Minister of Public Service. So each minister has a role to play in each of everything. So when we, for example, let's talk about system of collecting taxes. Within municipalities, we have our own system of collecting taxes and how to manage the generated taxes of from 60% that level that, and the 40% goes with revenue authority. So system of collecting taxes, I think one of my brothers just asked it early, and I answered that. So we collect tax and we report everything to Minister of Finance, and Minister of Finance is responsible of how to manage and how to use the from there. And when we talk about development within the town, so all the other departments and other institutions, they have role to play. And part of your question was about if I'm not forgetting and help me, was about what?
About healthcare and education.
Healthcare and education. So, and about street children and so forth. We were working closely with organizations that are responsible for street children. So all we had to do was providing the shelter or the location to gather those street children, and then organization will come in with the services to those street children. And education system, there's a Minister of Education who is directly responsible for education system.
all we had to do, like I mentioned, we have 6 blocks within the municipality. Those 6 blocks don't have a school in every area or in every block. They don't have clinic or hospital in every block, and they don't have water system in every block. So we have to do assessment and report all this assessment to concerned authorities or concerned institutions, and then we work hand in hand with those institutions, whether means of health or means of education or means of any institution. So what we do is like we provide a shelter for 3 children, and then our organization will come and do the services. Also, we provide the space or a land for a school in every block, and Minister of Education will go with the services, how to build a school in that area, and the system of the school that they want to establish in that area. Yes, we regulate every single institution, but yes, we are working with different institutions in the town. Thank you.
Can I quickly go to the follow-up question? So, is that okay?
Yes, continue.
Thank you so much again. So, my follow-up question is just very simple. The former mayor spoke about the environment, and then how many trees have you planted before you left? So I know from the Sharar Bayin all the way to Warayat to Majangamal to the Kwajuk hasn't been. It's actually been like nothing, because before when we were kids, it's just like a bush, but now it just left like, Sarah. How many trees actually have you done when you spoke about the environment? This is a part of environment, and this is your work as a mayor. So how many trees have you planted?
Thank you.
The environment, make the city look clean and green as well.
Thank you for your follow-up. I didn't plant any tree, but within my proposal that I just mentioned a few examples, we have something called Green City, which we were planning to plant the trees along all the main roads of Pajok. And not only along the main road, we were imposing the residents to plant the trees in front of their houses, because we made it mandatory. And as you know, I just took over the office in February. And during those times, we were busy of how to establish ourselves and our system. And some of the things need the blessing from the assembly. But planting the tree was something that we were going to do within our institution without being passed by the assembly. But we were so busy with so many things, and then we were caught by the raining season. So most of our activities had to stop until after the raining season. Unfortunately, after the raining season, I was relieved from my position, which cancel or stop all my proposals that I was planning to do as the mayor of Pajok.
So you have to get permission from the assembly to plant the tree. Is that correct?
No, I just mentioned that planting the tree is not something that needs to go to assembly, but we're busy with so many things to establish the system of how to to do all this. And for example, planting the trees, we need to bring them, some from Juba, some from Wow, some from Kampala, and mostly from Kampala. And those, they need the budget. And we didn't have a budget for that, but we had a plan of planting the trees.
Okay, Brother Akon,
Thank you.
we're going to stop there. And then Auntie Antoinette has a follow-up question as well. And then we're going to drop you guys as you guys finished your question already. And
You can drop me. You can drop me now. Fine.
no,
You can drop me.
sorry, anyway, for dropping you earlier. We assumed that you were done with your questions, but yeah.
No, it is good. Sometimes we will wait for someone for the follow-up, so before we drop someone. So there is something called follow-up question. It's all good.
No problem. We apologize for not
Okay. Okay. Former mayor of City, I'm going to ask you one more question. Do you have a clue why they released it from your post? And are you confident that whoever somebody's mic is are you confident that whoever is taking your place will be able, or taking your place will be able to continue with the work you have done? Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Firstly, why I was removed from my position, I mentioned it earlier that change are part of progress. And if somebody was there before me, was not removed, I would have not become a mayor of Pajok. And if I was not removed, then the current mayor would have not become a mayor. So change are part of our progress and part of our development. But something that we have to focus on as a being Kuluna, whether it's Pajok or Will or anywhere. We have two things in our society that are pulling us backwards. And we need collective responsibility in order to gain the momentum or in order to move forward. Those two things that are moving us backwards is we have two things in our society. One, we have low or lack of education, and we have lack of civilization. So when you have these two things in your society or in any society, you will not move forward. So you will not know your rights as a citizen. You will not know your responsibility as a citizen. And when you don't know your rights and your responsibility, the country or the nation will be in a chaos like ours now. And when there's a chaos, so we will only have short vision. We will not look at ourselves as a human being of one people of one country. And why I'm bringing that example is, for example, when you are not appointed from county or from that from Buma or from state, people will say "Lezol betana dama jabo," and they will not look into objectives or programs of that person. They will just look. They will just say "Lezol betana." Instead, we should always focus on what that person is going to bring to us. So when I was appointed, I was not appointed because I'm from Faisal, but because of what I have presented to the governor, and then and he was convinced enough that Madud Ayongi is going to do this. So not to prolong, in short, I was saying the current mayor, I don't know if he's capable enough to do his job because we didn't go, or he didn't go through the campaign so that everybody is aware of this person is coming to do 1, 2, 3 or ABCD. So he was just appointed like any other politician or administrative people. So, and he's there sitting in the office. I don't know what are his plans, and and uh, and yeah, I will not speak on his behalf, but I hope and I wish him all the best to fulfill or to do what is needed by the citizen of Pajok to be done. So, and partly that somebody asked earlier, and I forgot, I didn't answer it when I was answering her. I don't know, was you or somebody else. But during your time, were you cooperating with neighboring states or neighboring town mayors? Yes, I was cooperating with the mayor of Awili Town, mayor of Pajok, and mayor of Juba, which is Castillo Lado. I even we had a proposal of bringing all mayors of South Sudan together and to do a conference, a workshop of how we can work together. But unfortunately, that proposal didn't. We didn't get a time to do that. So that's what I can say. That why I was relieved. It's just part of the progress or part of development. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben. Ben Madid, I am aware that we have some audience watching from Facebook Live. Do you have any question from them?
Actually, there's a question that somebody sent me in my inbox. It's regarding about insecurity between Warrap State and Lake State. I know you are a former governor, Ben Madud, but this question will be a good that you can, if you had anything about what happened. Like we received a news yesterday in your time, but it's today our time. We received a news that there is a incident or a violence that happened between at the Rubek, Lake State North, at Rubek North. The youth of Renjang coming from Tweed East County of Warrap, they attacked the Rubek North. They burned down the houses and other government building like hospital and even like a place where the military is broke. Is it true that this happened? That if you had anything, or can you give us a headline? Is this true? Because sometimes people post stuff on social media that are not true. So can you comment about that, if this happened or not? And the second question, this question is coming from me.
The first question that you're asking, you cannot answer that because that is a state level. And if it's a state level, then you're responsible to answer that question. Just because we don't want to interfere on the state affair versus the mayor affair. You know what I mean? It would be good, yes, he may be the eye witness or ear hearing things, but I think that question wouldn't be asked. But go ahead.
Yeah, actually, let me just answer in this way. You are correct. I will not answer that question correctly or in detail. But what I can say, yes, we all heard that something happened today between in area of Rumbek North that has been attacked by Luanjang. So we don't know the detail of that. But what I know that the governor of Lena Yang of Warrap State and Governor Rinton Mabor of Lake State, they have very strong relationship and they have very strong cooperation between them. And the top priorities is to minimize security in all the state or corridor, northern corridor. So I believe Honorable Rington will not tolerate those kind of criminal activities, and I believe Honorable Elena Yang will not tolerate those kind of action of criminals. And I believe those are criminals, and both governors of both states, I think they still don't have enough detail yet, but they will go deeply until they find what happened exactly and bring those who are responsible to the book. But I myself, I will not. I don't have any answer for that. But that's what I know between the two governors.
Thank you, Ben. That's good enough because I knew that it's just confirmation whether that happened or not. So we don't need you to answer because you are not. You can able to answer that. Just a confirmation that if that happened or not. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, Red Army, the floor is yours.
Well, but Majid has a second question, so I'm not sure if you finished the second question or not.
No, my second question.
Majid?
Yeah, my second question is about when you were still in the office as a mayor of Warrap. So has we know that in Barakazal we have two states that have been affected by violence, Lake State and Warrap. During your time there, I know you didn't spend most of the time. You do have like 9 months, then you were moved. So what did your office and governor office and the government of South Sudan do to bring the peace and to bring the chaos that happening in the Warrap state? What did you do in your office to stop the violence?
Thank you. Like I mentioned before, I was only the mayor of Kwajok. I will not talk at the level of Warrap State. I can only talk of the territory of Kwajok. And within the Kwajok, I think I mentioned the security program that I had in my office and how we were dealing with criminal and so forth to bring the insecurity within the town to normal. And I think last year you heard that there was lady was shot in Pajok. And within the very short time, I and security organ within the town, we did our level best, and we apprehended those who did that crime. And not only that, those who are breaking into the shop at night, that was my responsibility. But what was happening still happening in the counties was not under my responsibility. But we were working together with the governor to minimize the security in all the states. That I was only responsible within the area of Pajok town. And I already talked of how we were tackling the security issues within the town.
Thank you, Bajmadu. Microphone back to you, Tony.
Tony, the mic is yours.
Welcome, Red Army. Yeah, you can go right ahead to ask your question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madid. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Peace. thank you, Eva and Juliet. Yeah, I love to be here to listen to our former major. There's something that I don't. It's not clear here for me. If you are major of Kwajo, so you're not be able to do something going on in Toin, in Twitch, everywhere. So why is that? Secondly, Ben Madut, Madunayo, these people here listen to you. They're really politicians. Whatever you say is going to be against mayors. We heard about a mayor of Juba, very active, and mayor of other states are not. The first time now to hear you are one of the former a year ago. There is something that went off in that state, like in Warrap state. The whole education actually is supposed to really tell us really detail, because Antoinette Ball asked you about that, because private sector taken over, and the public, they don't teach. There is no teachers. See, and that is development. Development is from the school. So if we don't have education, and then we don't pay that private school is so expensive. Right now, I put 2 kids in there, and I'm paying a lot. It's just private school, because the public doesn't work. They say there's a school there, but they don't teach, especially physical structure, like a building has no windows. There's no windows, and I think that the same uniform from Toy all the way to I'm from Toy anyway, all the way to Kwajo. I think there's a school there without window, without no cement, there's nothing. So that was a good thing. You have to talk more, because this one can give you more job back. If you get that job back, would you take it to be a mayor again in Kwajo? Thank you.
Thank you. I will start with your first question of that you are confused if not responsible for what's happening in Toin or in Twitch or in Korealis. That's then why that was your question, eh?
Yes, that was the question, because I was trying to actually clarify if you are a major. When they say a major of that state, look like you have links with all the commissioners. You have to have some more information what's going on there. That's what I thought. Maybe you have, if you have more clue or idea, would you please elaborate on it?
Yes, we have very strong communication. I had a very strong communication with all commissioners of Warrap State, the 6 commissioners. And we always meet whenever there's workshop conference in Kwajo. I'm the host person. So we always meet and interact and exchange ideas and ways forward. But I'm not responsible for what happened in Ranjang. If I know the information, then there's relevant authorities that I will pass the information to them. And the same thing in Ajakwaj or in Kwaisok or so forth. So yes, there was a strong network between us, but the job description divides our roles and responsibilities. So I was only within the perimeter of Kwajo town, and also if
hear something or they know something that happening in within my area, they will report it something in your area happened here or at this time or and so and then it's all about collective responsibility and even within the town, there are so many departments, and each department is responsible for certain things in the areas. So, yeah, I'm not denying that there was no communication or strong network between us, but there's roles and regulations that were guiding us. And when you come to a strong education, yes, we need a lot of work in order to build a strong foundation, and a strong foundation is start with kindergarten to all this level until university. So, and that work is there's a minister, there's a director, and there's so forth and so and so. But the responsibility is all ours. We have a collective responsibility. We have a collective role to play in our society, whether you're in South Sudan or you're in diaspora. If there's something happening in school with your child and you didn't report it to correctly to headmaster or to principal, and then it goes all the way to Minister of Education, then will not correct all these problems. Yes, there's a lot of work needs to be done in order to build a school with windows you mentioned, the doors and curriculum and everything that needs to be done. Government has a role to play, and the citizen has a role to play. I'm not denying that, or I'm not shifting the responsibilities of the government to the citizen, but there's no government without citizen, and there's no citizen without government. So we have a lot of things need to be done, and with the school fees, the kids that can afford to pay the yearly fees or the needed fees that whether from term to term, and there's so many ways we can help those kind of kids. But the most important is how to put down a strong foundation. Whether you're learning under the trees and you're learning very good, you will be the same as person who is sitting in AC or in a good building. So I think I will stop there. But yes, we need collective responsibility so that we can move our country together. Thank you.
Did you answer why the private sector taking over education?
Why private sector is taking over the education is it's a freedom of if you want to have your own school.
Let us go for election. Let us go for election. Let us go for election.
You have freedom to do that, but you are regulated by the education, and you are regulated by the government. So that I will not answer that deeply, but what I can say is that there's the freedom of establishing private school, and it's up to the parents to take your kids to private school or to public school. But the regulation is done by the government. They are being regulated the same by the government.
All right, thank you.
Tony, the mic is yours.
Sorry. All right. Is the question not back yet? Sorry. I think.
Yeah, I can take it
Okay,
from
go
here.
ahead, please.
Yeah, for a few minutes, then I really have to go. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ben Madud, and thank you, Red Army, for asking your question. Are you done, or do you have a follow-up question, Red Army, so we can drop you to the audience?
I'm done.
All right, I'm going to drop you to the audience. Thank you for your question. And thank you, former mayor, for answering those questions in a very detailed way. Even though some of the questions were not within your jurisdiction, so far you've been doing a great job responding to people's questions to the best of your knowledge. The next person to ask a question is Samuel. So go ahead, Samuel Kur. The floor is yours.
Thank you. My question, I have only one question, but I don't know if it will be under his responsibility or not. I'm not sure. I hear that he said other residential from other states. Those other states who are residing in any city or any state in South Sudan, if the census came, will they be counted under the state that they are living in, or they will go back to their state? That is the question I want to know.
For that, and a person, if you want to go back to your state to register there, or you want to register in that state where you're staying. So it will be up to that person. There's no restriction from the government. If you want to go back or you want to stay there, it's up to you. For example, we have people in Warrap since day one. They live in Pajok, people from Awil, people from Lake State, and they are in Pajok up to now. And they even they are calling themselves we are from Pajok, and they even can mention we belong to Sultan so and so. Why or so? So those people will never go back to Rumbek, and the government of Warrap will chase them away. Like through the census in Rumbek or in Abia or in Awil.
Yes, thank you. The reason I'm asking is because the policy in any country where you live is that where you're supposed to be counted. Like you used to live in Canada. When you move to certain province from a different province, you have a 3 months. 3 months you will be you will be counted as a resident in that province. That's suppose if I will ask if it's supposed to happen in South Sudan or not. If you move from different state and to another state, or in some duration of time, will you be automatically a resident to that area, and even the election you will vote in that area? That is why I was asking, but it looked like very confused a little bit in South Sudan, I think.
I mentioned not too long ago that we still have very low education, lack of education in our society and lack of civilization in our society. And when you have these two in your society, we will not look at ourselves like one people. If I move from here to Raja, or someone move from here to Ruin administrative area, they will not look at him or her as a citizen of South Sudan. They will say, it's a international. That's simply because we didn't understand or mindنا معايير التعليم ولا الثقافة في المجتمع بتاعنا. فلو كان عندنا حاجات ديل, the example is just brought, you can move from Toronto to Calgary or to Port McMurray or to Denver, and you can stay there and nobody will ask why you are from that state or from that county, why you are here. But in our society, we still have a law of understanding of how things work. So, but one time we will get there. And the example of Warrap or Kwajok I just mentioned, so we have people from Lake State, and they even go in Kwajok, and nobody is asking them. And I'm not saying that people of Kwajok are well educated and well civilized, but we still have a long way to go. And that was, it takes us back to what I just mentioned, collective responsibility to liberate ourselves from that kind of mentality so that we can look at ourselves as one people and one people of one country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben, for the answer. I have two questions, but you have just covered one question now. The first question was like, are non-residents, like those who are not from Warrap, are they allowed to own land? But you have just mentioned people from Rumbek owning the land, so I will not ask. My second question is, you are from Panya York, and we are aware that in Sudan there's a lot of nepotism. Can someone who is not from Panya York be allowed or elected as a town mayor? Just like the way in Juba now, it's only Bari that is actually allowed to be a town mayor. They don't allow any other person to be a town mayor. Also in Kwajok, is it only people from Panya York are the only people allowed to be town mayors, or anyone from a one Mo or a one Chaninyal or from other ethnic like a Pug and a Walk can be allowed to be town mayor? I know it's a tough question, but we need to know because we have this nepotism in Sudan.
That's always, there's no stupid question, and the only stupid question is the question you don't ask. So,
thank you.
So, for that, Steve Bachar is the deputy town mayor of Len, how do you call it, or something like that. And the same thing in Panjo. My two deputies are not from Panyayo. My first deputy for Admin and Paina was Maduten, and is from Toy North. And second deputy, which is for hygiene and sanitation, is from Awan area. Those are the deputies. And always, if the mayor come from White, it will be he or she will be deputized from, from different areas. And one time we had a mayor from, I think was from Puka or from Agwok, which, if I'm not mistaken, is called Dina Khan or something. So the restriction is not only for White. It's just that people of White, they are asking. It's not the law, but they're just asking if they can be given that post, and then you should go to other communities. And they have been always answered. The request always been answered, not always, because I just mentioned that one time the mayor came from a different area,
And what we are in now is the appointment time. Mayor or the ministers have always been appointed. But when it comes to the period of election, mayor can come from anywhere as long as you're a resident of that area. So mayor can come from anywhere. So, but if people of, for example, people of barriers, they ask to be given the mayorship, then the post of mayorship will go to them and the deputies will go to somewhere else. But if they kept it open, then mayor can come from anywhere. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The mic is yours, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Mansuri. So the next person would be Stephen Lowe.
Yeah, I'm here.
Stephen Lowe, can you please introduce yourself first before you ask your question?
All right. Yeah, thank you. My name is Daniel Akolare. I'm from Boreal West, I think. So that's, and from Boreal West, I think one chance. Yeah, my question is very simple and it's been asked recently by Sholby. My question was how is the town mayor being appointed? Because in Juba, like he said, in Juba, it has to be a son or daughter from Juba. There's no ask. They don't ask for it. It's their post. It's fixed. So and like you said, town mayor, the former town mayor, like you said, you asked for it. You ask for it, or is it a qualification? Is it, or you campaign for it? So which one is which now? You ask for it, or you campaign for it? So I just
let me be clear again. I think I'm not trying to cut you short, but it's just the same question that was asked before. What happened when position? I mean, when they signed the peace agreement and people are going for nomination, so all the communities sit and they divide the position between themselves. So which community should be given this and which community should be given that. And during those meetings of community, for example, Goreal West, I think they said and divided the position among themselves, and it happened. The post of mayorship was given to people of white. So now people of white, they go and bring their son or daughter, and people of white will come and sit again to see if post of mayorship will go to White North or White South, and it goes like that until whoever lucky get the position. So it happened when they distribute the position among when they divide the position among the communities. That's how each community or each area get the share of soil and so. And in my case, I just got it because the position was given to white. But it's not the law that position will always go to white, or it's not the law that the position of mayorship will go to various people. It's just they ask a humble question, a humble request, and it always be given to them. But when we go for election, then everybody
who lives there for more than certain period of time will be entitled to contest for that position. Thank you.
Yeah, let me ask. So, which means is permanent to quite until the partner notice? That's what you said?
It's not permanent to quite. Like I said, community of Boreal West, they said that they divide the share of position. So, and it was peacefully given to white people. So, but if there was a disagreement, people say it will go to Twitch or it will be given to Tony, and also Tony will go and sit and see this post will go to Tony North, Tony East, or Tony South, and it goes like that. It's not the mass that it goes to white always. But what happened to white community? They just asked, can this position of mayor should be given to us? That's what happened, but it's not the law that it always goes to white people.
Okay, thank you.
Can I follow up question regarding this this thing? This is very good question. Ben Mudud, I need my follow-up question regarding this is about, I see that the government of South Sudan and the local government, they do like this. The citizen, they don't give the right to go and elect their own city mayor or governor, but they have been appointed. The president can appoint it, the governor, and the governor can appoint it, the mayor, and other city or official. In the future, can the constitution of South Sudan can be changed to give the power to the citizen to select, to go to election and select, to vote for their own mayor, city mayor, and governor instead of switching position, to give this position for the next 1 year, and then the position will be given to a certain section of tribe in the area. Can later on, is it a good way that the power can be given to people and people can decide if I'm running for a mayor of Yerul, for example, the people of the Yerul area and surrounded can come and vote. I will contest with someone from that area. That will be the best way to do it instead of switching position to other clan, another clan? Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. It will be done that way, and we are gearing towards the election, and election will determine who to come and who not to come. So, but what is happening now? It just we don't have a permanent constitution, and they're dropping it, and it soon will be done, and we'll go to election starting from the presidency all the way to governors and mayor, and even the councillors that work with the mayor will be elected, not appointed. But right now we are the governor, mayor, and everybody is being appointed today and removed tomorrow. It's just that the powers are being delegated to the president based on the peace agreement. But in 2023, we'll be having election, and then the constitution will guide everything, and everything will be done according to the constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
I hope I answered your question. And
yeah, you did.
And,
you did.
Partly, it's just the work of the national government when the permanent constitution was done. and when the election will be done. And as we hear from outside, I will not go deeply, but it's not the work of the SPLM alone, or it's not the work of the President Salva Kiir Mayardit alone. It's the work of the whole parties, collectively with the citizens, to work towards achieving the permanent constitution and election that will bring Mr. X and Y.
Thank you, Ben. Jam, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Mayor Madut. My name is Billy Luke. I'm from Unity State. I'm from Ruwing, aka Ruwing Administrative Area. I may not be a relevant citizen to ask your question pertaining to your role as a mayor, as a former mayor of the Gogrial or Kwanjo in that case. So, but I would like to look two questions. It is going to be a general question for all South Sudanese, and I just want to ask you from the standpoint of your experience as a former mayor of Kwanjo. Based on your experience in the government, I would like to know from you exactly what are the criteria you use to collect the revenue as South Sudan as a whole. And I was also wondering as well whether the National Parliament of South Sudan actually do appropriate or allocate annual budget for every state, and how much budget is always appropriate for a single state, and how do you spend that budget in that case? So these are the two basic questions I just want to throw to you.
For how we spend the budget and how much the budget for every state every year, I will not be able to answer that. It's the work of national government with the state government. State government as the state secretariat and the assembly. They are the one determine what budget that state gets and how they will spend it. Regarding collection of the revenues in the state, we have local government act, which is our bylaw, and also we have what is called taxation bill, which is passed by the state legislative assembly. That taxation bill gives a code for each or every item in the state and how you collect it and how you use it. For example, in Kwajok municipality, our taxation bill that I was using is, excuse me, was for Boreal State, and that taxation bill for Boreal State was there was a lot of amendment being done to it. So some of the items that's supposed to be collected by the municipality were given to a different state. For example, the building permit that's supposed to be under municipality was given to Minister of Land and Housing, and also collecting tax in the market for dry fish or wet fish. Those items supposed to be under municipality, but they were given to animal and forestry and so forth. And so so many things that were given to different departments within the taxation bill. So we only left with few items that and the municipality or mayor of the town. And those items, for example, we have auction, cow auction or goat auction in the town.
That's under our responsibility. Whatever we collect from the auction, we have 40% to municipality, 40% to revenue authority, and 20% to Boreal West County. That 40% belong to us. We report it to Minister of Finance. How Minister of Finance will use it is up to them, and that's the work of.
You mean the state? Sorry to interrupt you. You mean the state minister or the national?
Part of authority goes to state of finance, and part of that goes to national revenue authority. There's so many technicalities to that. Which one goes to national and which one remain in the state? But it always is proper ways of tax collection and ways of how to use the collection. And there's something called also something called PIP, personal income tax. That's also in the state, and it's always being used in the state, and there's ways of how to use it in the state. So that's the system of taxes and how we use them in the state. And there's some other things within the state or within the town that mayor will not touch. It goes directly to revenue authority. And yeah, that's how they use everything.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Mayor. Just to follow up with your answers, I would like to know whether the state generated revenue can also be given to the national government. I mean, do you share with the national government? You leave some of the revenue for the state, and then the rest might go to the national government after you collect your own state revenue. That's it. Second to that, you talk about, I was asking you the question of how much money does each state get from the national government when they distributed the national wealth or the national revenue that is, and how much does each state get? And then after that, do you actually allocate or appropriate this budget to go to the physical infrastructure like school, health center, road, and other social amenities? And then does that budget be used also to actually pay the salary of the public employees? Or do you only pay from the local revenue that you generate at the state? Thank you.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, as the mayor of the city, I can answer the question of how much each state, or for example, Warrap state, how much do they get from the national level? That's only determined by the state legislative assembly. They drop their budget and they pass it, and it goes to national level. And all the states are not getting equal shares. Each state is different to other states. And what goes from state level to a national level is also determined by state legislative assembly finance and the government of the governor of that state. As the mayor, I'm only responsible for the town, and whatever we get, we report it to Minister of Finance, and we are not responsible for whatever goes to national level. Like I said, it's only revenue authority at the state level they know what percentage from their share at the state level goes to national level, and not just a share. It's some items within the states are being collected or are being taxed by National Revenue Authority, and yeah, and for mayor, we're only responsible for whatever within our areas, and we report it to the governor and to the Minister of Finance, and whatever the state level gets from national level, and how they use it at the state level, whether for paying the salaries or for the developmental project, they are always there. Each ministry has their own budget and developmental project budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. I'm satisfied. You can go ahead.
Element, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Thanks to all moderators. And thank you, Honorable former Mayor, Madrid. And thanks, brothers and sisters down there. Mr. Former Mayor, according to your statement, you used to have good planning of development, and then even you can speak a lot, in terms of fighting crime in your own city. But I fail to understand about development for yourselves as leaders. So, what example, something cut off your possible development? I believe, as you mentioned, Governor or Commissioner Gastic, it has been taken to Egypt for the treatment. So, what is exactly plan of you leaders, for instance, to build good hospitals? If a leader becomes sick, has to be taken to Kenya, Egypt, Uganda for treatment. Why not you people think about that, how to build good hospitals? Even if any leader, if it is President Care or governor or commissioner gets sick, just to have that treatment, local. So can you highlight and say something about that? So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. In regard to transfer of our people abroad for treatment, it's the state of the condition of our country. We all know that we well-equipped clinic, hospitals, or so forth, and the responsibility, like I mentioned earlier, the responsibility is all ours. And building a good hospital is not only for the government, even individual or group of people that can build a hospital or a good school, and that's instead of taking kids to different countries, you take those kids to that school, or instead of you go abroad to Egypt or to Sudan for treatment, you go to that clinic. So it's the responsibility of all citizens to maybe you mobilize your funds from somewhere and come and build a very good hospital with all the equipment and everything. So then some people will not go abroad. And if that happens in Pajok, and if that happened in Awil, and if that happened in Wow, then
That's a part of development. Development is not only for the government. And what the government provides is the security and the protection of the people. Like what I was saying earlier, my first priority as a mayor is to protect the lives of the citizens and their properties. That was my first priority, and that was the priority of my governor, Honorable Elena Yang. So if we provide the protection for the people and their properties, then it's your role as a citizen to bring investors, to bring development to the country in all aspects of the development. So yeah, government has a role to play to build a good hospital, and citizen alike has a responsibility to develop their countries. Thank you. If you have a follow-up, you can feel free and go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. What I'm saying with good faith, because health is very, very important. You have to be healthy so that you can perform well. Because most of our leaders, I'm happy on this and that cited there was something for the medical, medical treatment or concern of overseas, and that a little bit, give me a lot of, that because health, you have to have first security is the health of our leaders. So we have to have good hospital, local, any leader or any citizen that's it. It has to be, get treatment local. Because if we take our leaders outside, and then might be got, wrong doctors, yeah, they might kill our leaders with no reason. So this I'm concerned in that matter. So and again, thank you all for the interest and the support, man. We see you guys all the best. Thank you. That was my case here.
And also to add to your question or to conclude it, everything is a choice. And even in Kenya with the advanced technology that they have very good hospital, they have very good education system, but they still take their kids to UK or to America for education or for treatment. So it's a choice of individuals. Even if we have a very good doctors, we have very good clinic hospitals here, and I want to go to any country of my choice for treatment, then I'm free to go.
Benton, the mic is yours. I think it's a knock 10 as well.
All right, sorry guys, I'm back to driving. Actually, I like Solomon's question because it's good for us to build our own hospital that is actually going to give a good treatment for our people, because we don't want people to go abroad, As he said, his main concern is that, people may they may go and kill our, people and all of that kind of stuff. But if they have been treated within their country, I think they can survive longer. I think we have seen a lot of our politicians dying in Khartoum and in Kenya. They go healthy and then they come back in a casket. So I think it's a very good question that was to be asked. But anyway, let me not dwell too much on that. So Anam Kucha, go ahead. You may ask the question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for this wonderful show. I really appreciate you guys today. Mayor Madud, Salim Alik. Well, my question is not, my question is not really a lot of questions, and it's nothing to do with the school or education-wise. My question is, I read the word with Tongmoyang direct. Is that okay?
Yeah, correct. Continue.
Yeah. ran chol mer mi ro ki go are re yer ku jinu kana kinum liya particular pandan bargazal lengen me ran ti bay ko tingi lui go lui ye like that we lui ko ye wad ngo kana ko lan ku lo ti ten particular we bargazal ga ye log bot ko chi e wo ko go re ye wo ye tingo go wala ya ka tin ya we ko re long e ngona ya ka ben ba ku pa lo we guru ko chien ba da bu wo chong nin kwen wo panda bo wir particular pandan chol bargazal yeran chola no nyang manam ku chap ana kum jam an nyan le ke in ki jingi de ki ji na wi ba ber ke ye na ki wi ba ber ya mi ba ber to mon jang bla po
apa mo banyak nak ini cale je le soalum percaya pandang ke jenuh bukan wan ngon nom chien waktu kita siapa berkopin whether era cipiu belang degree wala era cipiu belang doktoral kuin nare jenuh bukan wala inta Amerika wala inta dual pinung kogi teo kang tapin teo lui tin teo giam tin ang wat ka che o nyua kwa kwan che pye kwa kwan mu panda bla twen kana en ki na tin na ga chi ya to ji ja kol kwa che ba ben narial a chin zaman ni gen u bien ka kanu o fut bla loy de ba loy kwa chin equipment un ni gen bien ka kanu bla loy za bien ke la loy en so kakaban akaliu teno luang kutiel ajuj pandan chol junub Sudan ko kaka bokche na ma pichiton jalwel panda tali mangwat kor nintin kujala en ni chiang en sakafa mangwat kor nintin ko kapedi Okate go chol yo ino ina tar ina re ina nuer ina do rukeda o now it's okay to I chat chita lu kai tok to bang kita sama kali na liu ke anda in point de kon on ini ke ko ban do in ko ro yu pen pa je ben pa che wa din pa man ne pa che wa din ka tan ko re pa che wa din ko nó có cái có nhiều cái coi chân có cái của riêng có cái đôi đằng kia cái có cái luôn phản đi có phụ cho cái lối các ai chơi rồi của cho là Iran có cái là của cái lối ngoài bukan long ngoài cái gì ngoài also của cái producing oil type of abar producing resource ada namanya kepai tertentu yang rantai itu orang kita so masalah berkata representation actually di political force lu di parlemen ini sampai ada pilihan macam ama politically waziri ngaje paya kelo represent ngeno ina afya yiki ina ka yikan alme kaka eta ya tinke o panda ngwatro wa na tibla tu ngapai di ayata soya nyar kudun jati tadungam kunale taki ide tin wala tachari kakal dungam kangwan norian wada tadungam ya ikale tan
yen ban kudun ke lele ke kai dug nam ten na e ke kia na lela la pa ta ga chi na jong ka dai wo ko ro lo ke ya ga tin e cha wi ba le ben da kina ba wa ni ki na lang ran de la ben de willing and quite. Oh, I was sick at home. Me, I won't get in there and you will, but I have a king a long time.
Kaka, ada ko jaben o whether quite a long term or quite a year for your diet for quite a year quite team. For example, the key point the year was here for local yokai we welcome natural picture along the year from Paka Laka to be or a Kayin kayin ba dia rut kupai penju sen pinju pacing ke pepalo ke chi koi ke di well koi ke di well koi ko la ke dia kluamen bigalo na i koi ke di la ka ke ga bi ke ga dia ka kalon pa bela tuen aliu e wet ku ba pa ya la tuen ke ken mo prut belo a cho la di na pingi log jam wo ken wala kala ke lo lui ten ke la tuen kwang wada bro dog nya ge ran kana kwa ya tong arab lel dia al kal bian ba u jamal mashe kaloro daban ada pa ku ka dai pe ka ya myar bu ke chi ke ge ko tim pe du ke chi dia ke cha lel bu ke chi ti bu ke chi ti lakin kan mai mo pe di ubia kenen bu ko madi wen ku pat wannan bu ko madi dai ne ko benya dai ne bai ti ka ku ne ko ti ko bi lu nya ka ko ta mai o ka lo ka la mai o ka la ka ko ti bu ni ka pa ne ko lo ani ja pon maran ma ja lang limit صبر عنده حدود لكن من حاول زي ما بيقولوا صبر أيوب وصبر طيبة وصبر ثلاثة وشكرا.
Come again, enough. Just hope when you would.
No, I just let me bring it up again.
No, I'm sure I'll put it down with a move very well. Thank you so much for coming today. And we really appreciate you and we like any time to be here with us. Very quite for begging. And I hope when you know we got that, we got to take a look to thank everybody for bringing me back up. Have a great day.
Thank you. The mic is back to you, by Tony.
I think I'm making a lot of noise because I'm driving. So let me just pass it on back to you guys with moderator, and then let's just continue. I think we're just coming to an end, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just go back on moderators to take chances, or by Gabriel Medicine will wrap up on his presentation, and then moderators can wrap it up, and then can end the show.
Okay, thank you. I have just one question for Ben, and that will be the last question, Ben. My question is this. You have mentioned that there's a town mayor. The area square mile that is given to you is 7 miles. That is actually the area that is owned by the town council or by the town mayor. And in some other town in Sudan, like in Malakal, it's 25 kilometers away. 25 kilometers could be like 15 miles. In Juba, it's 20, which is actually like 13 miles or 14 miles. So my question is, why is it 7 miles in Kwajuk? Is it because you people of Kwajuk, especially Kwajuk, don't want the land to be occupied by the government more? Is that why you are not giving the town council more square kilometer, or what's the reason? Why are you guys only making a 7 kilometer within Kwajuk when the other state government or national government is making it as 25, 20 in other part of the state? Why is it only 7 miles as a land given to the town council in Kwajuk?
Okay, thank you very much. That was very big concern when I went to Pajok as mayor. I was asking myself the same question you asked, and I even put it in my proposal that for the 3 years plan, I want to change it to 15 miles instead of 7 miles. So the reason some say 15 and Pajok is only 7. Juba was only a big town since, and Malakal, Wow, Will, those are big towns before, and there are some states that were just established recently. So for the case of Pajok, when Pajok was surveyed in 2006, I believe, Pajok was very small town. So, and that's why I was given only 7 miles. And as we speak, the town has expanded to very far, northwest, east, south. And people didn't sit again to change the plan of 7 miles to 13 or 15 miles. So when I came with that proposal of changing it to 7 miles because Pajok has become a big city now, and it deserves to be more than just 7 miles. But my plan was cut short, and I left that proposal or programs for the next mayor. And I don't know if he's working on it or he just came up with his own program.
Were documents issued by the government. All those documents were issued by the government, by the way. The government has 3 levels